What's up, guys? Ian here, coach of your Surrey Stingers, bringing you guys our team builder for week 1 of the PTL Division 2 week 1. We are taking on Trogdor and his Vancouver Tapu Konucks. Funny, because I am from Vancouver, so kind of fitting that we're playing the Vancouver team to start out the week. To start out the season, I should say. Trog's team consists of Landorus Incarnate, Sheerforce, Weavile, Azumarill, which is a Z user, Rotom Heat, Amoonguss, Cresselia, Coffagrigus, Tyrantrum Z user, Hitmonchan, Type Null Z user, and Mega Steelix. He has priority options in Weavile with Ice Shard and Faint, technically. It's not really relevant, but I like saying it sometimes. Azumarill with Aqua Jet, Rotom Heat with Sucker Punch, technically, and Hitmonchan, Hitmonchan with Bullet Punch and Mach Punch. I'm actually going to write Bullet Punch in here because it's a little bit relevant. I just thought of that one off the top of my head. Hazard setting in Lando I with Rocks, Tyrantrum with Rocks, Coffagrigus with T-Spikes, and Mega Steelix with Rocks. Removal options in Landorus with Defog, Rotom Heat with Defog, and Hitmonchan with Rapid Spin. So fairly poor removal on his side. It's going to rely a lot on the Hitmonchan, which I don't think is coming. 4 times weaknesses in Landorus to Ice and Weavile to Fighting. So, you know, he's kind of got those covered too. He's got the Rotom Heat and the Azumarill to switch into Ice attacks. Although his team is relatively Ice weak, I will give it that. It's Weavile, Rotom Heat, and Azumarill the Ice resists. Excuse me, a lot of those are pretty easily chipped. Example being the Weavile, mainly. Yeah, and then Weavile's fighting weakness is definitely covered by the Amoonguss and the Cresselia and the Coffagrigus, so he's definitely got fighting covered a little bit more, although he does have a lot of fighting on his team as well. And Lando obviously resists fighting as well, same with Azu. Yeah, so in terms of what I don't think is coming, I don't think Tyrantrum shows up, I don't think Hitmonchan shows up, and I don't think Type Null shows up. The reason I don't think Type Null shows up is that Mega Lopunny kind of picks on it a lot. That's just my opinion, realistically, but that's kind of what I'm thinking, is that Type Null won't show up for that reason. It's a big threat if it does come, but I'm bringing the Lopunny just in case it does. Coffagrigus, I really think he's got to bring Lando I, Weavile, Azu, and then I think Amoonguss, Cresselia, Kofag make the most sense as the other parts of this team. Amoonguss as a Clefable answer, realistically, which kind of sucks for him, because his Clefable answers are essentially Amoonguss Mega Steelix, which is not really what you'd like to see, but, you know, that's what he's got going for him there. Hitmonchan, I've got a lot of fighting resists on this team, and ways to deal with fighting types. It might be relevant in case he wants to bring like a Banded Hitmonchan to Mach Punch Mega Lopunny. Excuse me, but I don't see why he would want to do that necessarily. Roserade kind of switches it on Hitmonchan for free most of the time. Don't really see it coming. Tyrantrum, I have a few decent Tyrantrum checks in Golurk and Jirachi. It could come. If it does come, it's definitely a threat. I'm not going to beat around the bush with it. It is absolutely a threat if it shows up. I just think that he doesn't have the room for it, and if he brings Tyrantrum, then I'm a lot less scared because Weavile and Azu aren't coming, and that's kind of what are scaring me for the most part, is Weavile plus Azu. So let's talk about my team then. Wouldn't be my video without a yawn. Very late when I'm recording this. So Jirachi's up first, Wishmaker with Toxic, Rocks, U-Turn, and Iron Head. Iron Head, I'm running a lot of speed too, so I can still flinch some stuff to death with the Iron Head there. Still a little bit relevant with that. Toxic, able to catch whatever might want to switch in on my Iron Head spam, i.e. Rotom Heat and the Coffagrigus, although I do think Mega Steelix is probably a lot likely. This is, for the most part, my lead option. It's not going to beat Weavile necessarily 1v1, but I can get a lot of damage off on it if necessary. In a 1v1 scenario, I do have max HP, so he shouldn't be able to kill me, I'm hoping, with a knockoff. Like Life Orb knockoff, I'm hoping won't kill me. Obviously, I'm not Colbur Berry. I'd rather have the leftovers for the recovery there. I was considering running just a Wish set as well, but this seemed to be a little bit more efficient. Rocks are pretty important to chip down the Weavile, and especially the Rotom Heat. It's pretty key that the Rotom Heat gets whittled, because that is his fast answer to Clefable, and then with his slow answer to Clefable and Amoonguss, I can sort of chip that down It doesn't get recovery without synthesis, and I don't think he can run that sort of set against Clefable. Otherwise, I'm really hoping to get my Clefable status just in case he's scouting for like an unaware set that would be able to 1v1 the Azumarill. So I'm trying to hope that I can get its status so that I don't have to deal with the Amoonguss Spore. And we'll get to that when I get to Clefable. It is at the end there. I was also considering a Flame Orb Clefable set just so that I couldn't get spored by the Amoonguss. And then I would always have that, but I am running leftovers. Spoiler, I'm running leftovers, and that's going to help out a lot. Alright, Jirachi Speed. That is there for Rotom Heat. I'm outrunning max speed Rotom Heat with this investment, which is the fastest thing I could outrun anyways. Lando's a problem, and that's, yeah, Lando's a problem. So I don't have a lot of responses to Lando. I didn't have any right off the bat. Like, if you look at my team, it kind of gets dicked by Lando. Any variant of Lando, realistically. I would definitely expect like a Rock Polish Life Orb set, potentially. He's got to have Sludge Wave, otherwise he can't beat Clefable. He's got to have Earth Power. From there, I figure he might have like Rock Slide and be a mixed set, and he can definitely afford to either run HP Ice or Tech on Rock Polish and be fine, or Calm Mind even, which would be also very scary. Yeah, so I don't have a lot of ways to deal with that, but Blastoise is my best way to deal with it, and I'm running an AV set. I should be able to tank a lot of hits with this. Blastoise is a reasonably bulky Pokemon, especially with the AV slapped on there. I should be able to eat some Lando hits. I don't necessarily want to switch in every single time, though, so I'm going to try and not switch in every single time. I've got Scald there for the Lando. I've got Aura Sphere there for the Weavile. Oh, excuse me. Weavile and the type Null, just in case he's not as Spadef of a set on the type Null. That's what Aura Sphere is there for. I've got Spin to get rid of his hazards, especially if he sets up T-Spikes. Blastoise is in a shit position. But I don't have to worry about T-Spikes. Obviously, I'm bringing both of my poison types, so T-Spikes are going to be completely irrelevant this game. It's more so for the rocks, which I'm not super worried about, but there's always a position where if I can Rapid Spin the rocks away, it'll be best case for me. I have a Mon that's going to completely avoid them. Once Lopunny Mega Evolves, it resists, and so does Jirachi. So rocks aren't going to be a huge thing for him, I don't think, but they could be, and that's a little bit what I'm running Rapid Spin there for. I didn't really need anything else anyways on an AV set, and I've got Ice Beam there to secure a kill on the Lando, potentially to hit the Tyrantrum a little bit harder than what Aura Sphere would be able to hit it with, and to hit the Amoonguss that I predict is going to be his Blastoise switch in. I don't have anything to hit the Azu. I don't think I could run anything besides like HP Electric, and so I may change out Rapid Spin last minute for HP Electric. We'll see. Just like there's a move on the Drapion that I might switch out now that I'm so worried about type Null. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Lopunny's next. I'm running a Mega Lopunny set here with the Toxic, Return, Ice Punch, High Jump Kick, Limber before I Mega Evolve because I don't want to get paralyzed by the Rotom Heat in particular and the Cresselia. I don't think anything else gets Thunder Wave. Maybe type Null does. Toxic is there to catch the Cresselia switching in. I think Cresselia is going to be his main answer. Cresselia, Orkoff, Grigus. He doesn't have great ways to deal with Mega Lopunny outside of those two, but they both deal with it pretty well. So besides those, he's got very few Mega Lopunny checks, and so I'm thinking he's got to bring both. If he only brings one, it is a much better scenario for me to be able to get in Mega Lopunny late game and start picking off kills. I've got Return on there. It's just really good stab. It's going to two-shot a lot of his team. High Jump Kick also will two-shot a lot of his team. That's pretty much all there is to it, honestly. I don't necessarily see him teching on Protect on anything. It's kind of a wasted move slot unless he's already a Parastrap Azu. That would be the only scenario I could see him having Protect, and he's not... I'm never clicking High Jump Kick against Azu anyways, so that's my thought there. It's easily able to break through type Null and Mega Steelix, as well as the Tyrantrum. Although if I don't want to miss, I've got the Ice Punch there as a backup for the Tyrantrum. It's mainly there to secure a kill on Lando. Obviously, I'll outspeed any non-Scarf variant before Rock Polish, of course. And I can always OHKO it with Ice Punch unless he's Yachi Berry. And if he's Yachi Berry, he doesn't have the power output to kill me from full. So I'll definitely be able to kill it. And if he's chipped, then I'll probably just click Return to avoid the potential of a Yachi Berry in the first place. I'm running enough speed on my Lopunny to outrun Weavile. So that's a lot of speed, but I can outrun his entire team with this. And then max attack, a little bit of HP, and then it's spread between the other defenses. Level 50 is a little bit weird. It'll take off 8 EVs for 1 HP point, so I have to spread the EVs into the defenses there. So I've got, it looks like mixed EVs, but it's not. It's the same as what I would do at level 100. It's just different, I guess. I don't know how to describe that. Rose Raid's next. I'm running a Scarf Rose Raid. This is not supposed to be Natural Cure. This is supposed to be Technician. With Leaf Storm, Sludge Bomb, HP Ice, and Spikes. I will need to recopy this team anyways, it seems. So Leaf Storm is a massive nuke against a lot of his team. It blows through the Mega Steelix, blows through, I believe it blows through Lando. It's a roll to kill Lando from full if he's no bulk. And I don't anticipate him to be no bulk. He's probably got to be max speed to outrun Jirachi and Salamence. So I'd imagine he's probably going to have none. Which means that my Leaf Storm can get a massive hit off on. Obviously, Leaf Storm can miss, but it's a nice way to sort of be able to pick off the Lando as a massive threat. Sludge Bomb deals with a lot of his team. His only poison answer is like Steelix. Besides Steelix and Lando, he has no poison resists outside of those two. Sorry, Kothag will resist poison as well. Forgot about that. HP Ice, just teching it on there to hit the Lando. In a desperate time, Technician boosted HP Ice should be able to deal with the Tyrantrum as well. It's going to be super effective, unlike a Leaf Storm, which will be neutral. And then HP Ice also hits the Amoonguss, which might want to switch in, although Amoonguss does kind of get bopped by a Sludge Bomb potentially. So that's kind of, you know, HP Ice kind of covers all of that. I thought about running HP Fire to hit the Weavile as well, but Sludge Bomb is going to destroy it. And Sludge Bomb is going to blow through the Azumarill, which is going to resist both my hidden powers choices that I would have wanted to go with. And so HP Ice kind of covers a lot more bases than HP Fire would this match. I've got Spikes on there as the last move. I didn't need another move, realistically. And Spikes put on quite a bit of pressure against his team, actually. Despite having double Levitators, the chip on things like Weavile, especially if he's Life Orb Weavile, it's going to be very, very helpful. So Spikes plus Rock Spam is definitely going to help out a lot here. And if I can force him to defog, then that's just all the better for me. I'm kind of hoping I can Spike Spam in front of something vulnerable, maybe like an Amoonguss potentially. This is obviously my switch into Amoonguss Spore, and so I can take advantage of that a little bit. I'm running enough speed to outrun the Rotom Heat, exact same speed as the Jirachi, as you'll see. Both of them hit 152, so I'm outrunning Rotom Heat with this. Max special attack, a little bit of bulk. Not a whole lot, but not, you know, I'm definitely switching into Amoonguss Spores with this. That was the main idea, is that I can switch into a Spore, because obviously I didn't have anything else. I didn't want to run safety goggles on anything this week. The rest of my items are kind of too important. Drapion's next. I'm running Lumberry with SD, Crunch, Poison Jab, and Earthquake. So this Drapion set is designed to sort of be able to take on Cresselia. I can tank Moonblasts pretty efficiently with max HP. I don't remember what this spread is meant to do. I can't remember what this spread is doing. I'll be completely honest. I actually have no idea. Earthquake is there to hit the Tyrantrum and the Steelix. I know that for sure. I've got max HP, enough attack to kill something. I can't remember what it is. It's probably to kill Cresselia at +2 Crunch. I'm not sure. Not entirely sure on that one. A little bit of defensive investment there. I definitely eat a knockoff from the Weavile, and I think I was probably investing enough to eat knockoff into low kick or something along those lines. That would make the most sense to me, instead of him trying to miss an Icicle Crash, which, again, I don't know if he would want to do that. But, yeah, and then I'm running a tiny bit of speed on Drapion just so that I can outrun anything creeping Drapion. So I know this for sure. I'm not outrunning anything in particular, but if anything is sort of just creeping above the base 95 mark on my team, which is just Drapion, then I will outspeed those. And I've just got the, you know, I splitting EVs and whatnot. Spidef is just picking up the 4 points there. Last but not least is Clefable. This is my main win con, I think. Starboy coming in with Calm Mind, Soft Boiled, Moonblast, and Flamethrower. Calm Mind Clef obliterates this team. The biggest issue being the Mega Steelix, which again, I'm sort of iffy on if he brings Mega Steelix or not. It is his best potential Raikou check, so he might bring it. It's also his best Braviary. You know, it's making a lot of sense in my mind that he will bring a Mega Steelix, but I'm confident that the combination of the Blastoise, Mega Lopunny, and Roserade can deal with it offensively, and once it's gone, he has a very difficult time beating this Clefable set. This is why I said Amoonguss is going to be the check, I think, because it gets Clear Smog. I believe Cofagrigus gets Clear Smog as well. but I'd imagine he's going to bring some form of Clear Smog Amoonguss against me, just to beat Calm Mind Raikou and Calm Mind Clefable. If he doesn't bring Clear Smog and Mega Steelix is dead, this Clefable should run through his team. Should run through his team. I can Calm Mind for days on the Rotom. I Calm Mind up against Cresselia for free. I can Calm Mind on the Weavile if it doesn't have Poison Jab or Metal Claw. I Calm Mind on the Landorus, which can't break me after Calm Mind. And I Calm Mind on the Type Null while it's resting, potentially. There's a lot that I can Calm Mind on here. I get a free Calm Mind up if the Tyrantrum's locked into Outrage as well, which is nice. I'm fully physically defensive, so I know I'm going to eat a physical hit while I get a Calm Mind up, and then obviously my Spadef will be boosted too. So that's sort of the idea behind the Clefable. It's a late game win con that I'm hoping can pull off a lot of shenanigans against him. And again, the Amoonguss is a big problem, especially because I'm not bringing Psychic Stab on Jirachi, but it's not worth it to me when Ironhead is able to beat through the Weavile, and I don't have anything to hit the Weavile otherwise on that set. So that is sort of my thought process behind the team here. I'm not sure, what I'm not sure about is if I should be changing Crunch out for Knockoff. Now that I'm talking, it sounds like Knockoff's going to be a little bit better to take on something like the Type Null there. But I had Crunch on here just in case he's like Colbur Berry Cresselia. I won't have a weakened Knockoff afterwards. I'll still have my base 80 attack Crunch instead of my base 65 attack Knockoff. And I figured that Crunch was just a little bit better of a way to break through other things. But getting rid of items makes a lot of sense here. So I'm actually just going to change this to Knockoff last minute here. So that's going to be the team, guys. In terms of what I didn't bring, Raikou, again, Mega Steelix kind of stops it. I'd have to run the Aura Sphere set, I think. And I also believe that I'd have to run Extra Sensory for Amoonguss, so I have to be a Rash set for that, which means that I'm not outspeeding the Landorus Incarnate. He can outspeed a Rash set by 1 point with max speed, because Rash Raikou hits the same speed tier as Jirachi and Salamence, so it wasn't worth it for me to be able to bring the Raikou in that sort of form. He's also got the Rotom Heat, that's going to soak hits from Raikou as well. It's got an okay matchup, don't get me wrong, it's not horrible. It's just kind of got a hard time breaking a lot of this team. Unless I just went with T-Bolt HP Ice, which is efficient to an extent, because again, HP Ice hits the Lando, the Amoonguss, and the Mega Steelix, all of which are his electric resists, and I think that's actually kind of a big flaw in his team. Oh, and Tyrantrum. That's somewhat of a big flaw in his team, is that his team has the electric resists for the Azumarill, but a lot of them are weak to ice. I just named off 4 that are weak to ice. Well, not Steelix isn't weak to ice, but ice will still hit it neutrally. So 4 of his 5 electric resists get, ice coverage hits them really hard, and then there's Rotom Heat sitting there. So as long as a team can tack on some way to beat the Rotom Heat, an electric type carrying HP Ice should be able to do a lot to this team. But that's why I didn't bring Raikou. Braviary is hard walled by the Mega Steelix. It's also walled by the Rotom Heat. It's definitely my best way to kill the Amoonguss. Ice Shard picks it off though from quite a ways with the Weavile there, and I would always be scared of a Tyrantrum sort of running. Like if I was running Scarf, I'd be worried about a Tyrantrum coming in to revenge kill me if I was locked into Brave Bird. Because it's kind of a big threat. Golurk, I didn't consider too much. Again, Weavile is such a huge problem for Golurk. And Weavile is kind of a big issue for my entire team, honestly, in general. Weavile plus Lando are such big problems. And that's an issue, right? So that's going to be something that I'm going to have to deal with potentially later on in the season against maybe a Sneasel or a Lando T. But we'll get to that when we get to it. So yeah, Golurk, not the biggest fan of it. It's definitely a solid way to break Cresselia. Like Banded Shadow Punch kind of puts in work. But I'm not the biggest fan of it, especially when Type Null switches into Shadow Punch for free. It didn't fit the bill that I wanted this game. And so it's not coming. Salamence is just completely revenge killed by Weavile. There's no point in even trying to bring Salamence this game. And Lando Eye is definitely going to have HP Ice for it. So again, what do you do there? I'd have to run Z Salamence to be able to break through Cresselia. But I also need to run a Z to break through the Mega Steelix, so it was really hard to justify it being worth it. And also, Cofagrigus taking away Moxie for a sweep is kind of as well. And then Heatmore, I'm actually kind of a fan of Heatmore in this matchup just because it easily breaks the Amoonguss and the Mega Steelix, both of which are slower than it. The biggest issue, again, being the Landorus kind of threatens it offensively, and Rotom Heat can relatively safely switch into Heatmore. Not completely safely, because the defense lowering from Fire Lash is pretty big, but Heatmore is kind of frail, so it doesn't really want to take a ton of hits. So that is the team builder for Week 1 against Trog and the Vancouver Tapu Konucks. You'll notice we've got the D2 layout from last season. I don't know if there's going to be any new graphics or not. There may or may not even be a thumbnail for this, because I have no idea what's going on. I have the graphics from last season, so we'll see if those work well enough for this. I was told there's going to be graphics for this season, and we haven't heard anything about it, so I have no idea. But keep an eye out for these videos. These are going up the same day as the WPL videos, which is crazy. WPL will always be a week ahead in actual time, though, and then we upload the week after, whereas PTL upload the week of. So while PTL and WPL will be going up on the same days for the same weeks, like you will see this team builder the same day as my WPL Week 1 team builder, I'm already in Week 2 in WPL as you see this, and I'm still in Week 1 in PTL as you see this. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of uploads, and they're going to be the same days, and I'm not sure if you guys will have seen my Red draft breakdown by now or not, but Red is coming back, and it'll be uploaded at the same time. So we're going to have 3 of those, and also, actually, by the time you guys are seeing this, you may or may not have seen my NCL season recap, but that'll be coming out soon if it has not already dropped. That's going to be it for me, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will catch you guys in the next one.